Software estimation is crucial in project management because it helps in setting realistic expectations for stakeholders, allocating resources effectively, and creating achievable project plans. Accurate estimates enable better decision making, prevent scope creep, and increase the likelihood of meeting project deadlines and budgets. Due to all of these, estimation techniques and questions around it are very important factors when you will be giving interview for senior developers, team leads, or project manager role. Let's evaluate this vital section today in this video. Estimation in software development refers to the process of predicting the time, effort, resources, and cost required to complete a software project or specific tasks within it. There are several approaches and techniques used in software development to achieve estimation. We are going to discuss all in this session. Some of the factors that you should consider when estimating a project is like project scope and complexity, available resources and team expertise, technology stack and tools to be used, historical data from similar projects, potential risks and uncertainties, requirement stability and changes, and external dependencies and integration points. While doing the estimation for your project, if you will keep all these things in your mind, you will be able to provide a very good estimation for your upcoming project. Let's start our estimation techniques from basic. Two traditional techniques are analogous and parametric. Analogous estimation and parametric estimation are two different techniques used in software project management for estimating effort, time, and resources required for completing a project. Let's explore each of these techniques in more details. Analogous estimation, also known as top-down estimation or expert judgment, is a technique where you estimate the current project's parameters based on historical data from similar past projects. The underlying assumptions is that projects with similar characteristics will have similar resource requirements and durations. To do this, we have to first identify a previous project that is similar in terms of scope, complexity, technology, and other relevant factors to the current project. Then we have to analyze the historical data from the previous project such as effort, duration, and resource used. And finally, use that adjusted historical data to estimate the effort, time, and resource required for the current project. Parametric estimation involves using mathematical formulas and statistical techniques to calculate estimates based on the measurable project attributes. These attributes could include line of code, function points, complexity factors, and other quantifiable metrics. This provides a more structured and data-driven approach to estimation and can yield accurate estimate when the model is well calibrated. Function point analysis is a technique used in software engineering to measure the functionality provided by a software application. It's a method of estimating the size and complexity of a software project based on the functionalities it offers to users. Here's how the function points analysis works. The first step is to identify and categorize the various functionalities or features of the software application. These functionalities are typically grouped into categories like data inputs, data outputs, inquiries, external interfaces, and internal logical files. Then, each functionality needs to be assigned with the complexity. To do this, each functionality is then evaluated and assigned a complexity rating based on the number of inputs, outputs, data files, and external interfaces involved. Complexity is categorized as low, average, or high. After that, you have to calculate the function points. Function points are calculated by the summing of the complexity ratings of the functionalities. Overall, function point analysis is a valuable technique for estimating software project size and complexity, especially when combined with historical data and expert judgment. It can help organizations make informed decisions about project planning, resource allocation, and budgeting. Delphi technique is a structured method used to gather and synthesize input from a group of experts or stakeholders on a particular topic. It's particularly useful when dealing with complex and uncertain situations. The technique is named after the Oracle of Delphi in ancient Greece, known for providing wise advice. The team is composed of a group of experts in their respective domains who answers the queries in 2 or more rounds. Every time a facilitator provides a summary of the collected ideas, which is revised by the experts if required. The process of opinion and revaluation goes on until a final consensus is reached. To start with this, first need to find out a group of experts or individuals with relevant knowledge and experience in the subject. Then the facilitator or coordinator prepares a series of open-ended questions or scenarios related to the topics. The questions could be about forecast, predictions, potential outcomes, risks, or any other relevant aspect. Next is the round-robin feedback, where the coordinator distributes the questionnaires to the experts. Each expert provides their inputs, reasoning, and predictions in response to the questions. The answers are collected and compiled by the coordinator. The coordinator then summarizes the responses without revealing the identity of the experts. The process concludes when the responses have converged to a satisfactory level or when a predefined number of iterations have been completed. The primary advantages of Delphi technique includes its ability to minimize bias, encourage diverse perspective, and provide a structured approach to dealing with uncertainty. However, it can be time consuming and resource intensive, particularly when multiple rounds of feedback are involved. Work breakdown structure is a hierarchical decomposition of a project into smaller, manageable components, making it easier to plan, execute, and control the project. WBS estimation involves assigning estimates to each work package or task in the WBS to develop a comprehensive understanding of the project scope and requirements. In this technique, the complex project is divided into smaller pieces. The modules are divided into smaller sub-modules. Sub-modules are further divided into functionality, and each functionality can be divided into sub-functionalities. On the screen, you can see one such template of WBS estimation. 3-point estimation is the estimation method is based on statistical data. It is very much similar to WBS technique. Tasks are broken down into the subtasks, and 3 types of estimation are done on these sub-pieces. Optimistic estimation, that is the best case scenario in which nothing goes wrong and all conditions are optimal. Let's term this as A. Then most likely estimation, the most likely duration, and there may be some problem but most of the things will go right. Let's term it as M. And pessimistic estimates, worst case scenario when everything goes wrong. Let's term it as B. And formula to find value for these estimates will be A plus 4 into M plus B, and all will be divided by 6. There will be standard deviation you can also mention, like B minus A divided by 6. So this is the formula you need to follow in case of 3-point estimation. This is one of the very useful technique in traditional software development approach. Story point estimation is a technique commonly used in agile software development to estimate the effort required to complete a user story or a task. User stories are short, simple descriptions of a feature or requirement from the perspective of an end user. Estimating story points helps development teams to plan and allocate work effectively during a sprint or iteration. The fundamental idea behind story point is that they represent a relative measure of the complexity, effort, and uncertainty of a particular task, rather than a specific unit of time. This allows teams to focus on the relative size of the work items rather than trying to predict an exact time frame, which can be challenging due to the dynamic nature of software development. So far, what we have discussed are the commonly used estimation techniques in software development. Mostly you will be using one of these while you will be estimating for your project work. Apart from getting prepared for the interview, I hope this will help you to choose the right technique for your project. Happy learning. Thanks for your time and patience.